If you like what you hear, please take time to review us on Apple Podcasts and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Also, if you'd like to be on the podcast, let us know, or if you have someone you would like us to feature, let us know that as well. Welcome to another episode of the Business Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Sandra King.
Casey Lyons.
And today we have
Samantha Wilson from Yampa Valley Kids.
Who is the owner of Yampa Valley Kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know what? I went blank for a second because we were just talking about your sister and I was going to say that. And then I'm like, that's wrong.
Yeah, that is.
And then I'm like, it's Sarah. And then I was like, don't say Sarah. Wait.
I'm glad I interrupted you.
Yeah, because Sandra usually is completely clueless. But, and especially today. So I broke my little toe. Parker says I never tell enough about myself, but I broke my little toe. So I've had it taped. Apparently it was the wrong way until Parker helped me because Parker took those classes in college. So sports medicine. And he's like, you have it wrong. So he did a great job and I can't get it duplicated. So I'm just limping around the house and Oscar's like, well, you're limping really good now. Like, not really. So I'm wearing my yard shoes and it'll be good. But it's affecting my brain. Like my brain is fuzzy.
Sometimes that happens. Toes, they really get to your brain.
Do they? Yeah. Okay, good.
So. Yeah,
good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you see that in the small print on the side effects.
Right.
Toe, fuzzy brain. Yep.
Right.
Done.
Right. Did the Broncos win? Does anybody know?
Yes. It was such a good game. New quarterback. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah, because Flacco hurt his neck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so who was the quarterback?
Allen is his last name.
Oh, okay.
Young kid. Did awesome.
Well, you'll be happy to know Nebraska lost again, so.
Nebraska who?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
She gives me a hard time. Do you watch sports?
Yeah, I do. When I know what day of the week it is, usually.
Yeah, because
I didn't even realize today was Tuesday.
You're crazy busy.
Yeah, but yes. I mean, we watch a lot more rodeo than football in our house, but
Right.
pretty much no TV at all at the moment. Maybe a little Paw Patrol.
Right? Cute. Yeah.
Toy Story over and over again.
Yep. Yeah, Toy Story 4. I couldn't get through the one where he went to college. That just made me cry. But the Toy Story 4 one I want to see.
Toy Story 4 is sad. It's
it
very
is sad?
Yeah. Woody leaves his friends.
Oh, okay, then I probably can't do
It's
that one either.
very sad. It's much sadder than Andy leaving.
Oh.
What does our live game do that? We're talking about Disney movies.
Yeah, I love them. And how we can't watch them because we're going to cry because we're moms. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we know what you've been doing, so we can't talk about what you did this weekend because we already know and we're going to get into that. What did you do this weekend?
I don't even remember. I worked. And then, it was kind of a cleanup weekend. Get ready for winter. That's already here,
Well, and it was Halloween on Thursday. How was everybody's Halloween? Good?
Cold.
Cold and fast. We were, that was it.
Yeah. I love seeing the kids in their little costumes. They're so cool.
Yeah, it was cold and fast. Halloween actually really stresses me out.
Really? Why?
Because it's just wild and crazy, and there's too many kids, and my kids don't, it's too much.
I think it's as bad if it's not, the weather is better.
Yeah.
But that walking downtown when it's already getting cold at 5 o'clock. It's a little,
Yeah, exactly. So
somewhere a phone rings off camera. So tell us, we kind of start and talk about like how you got to where you are. So you graduated in Bags.
Yep. So
then when'd you go?
Yep, I graduated from Bags, and I actually I had a volleyball scholarship to go to Eastern Wyoming College in Torrington, and I broke my foot about 2 weeks before practice started. But I still went. But then I came home at mid-year, and because I just couldn't be away from Luke, who's my husband now. But
yes. Oh, that's
so
sweet.
I came home, and basically I worked in Craig, I worked at Murdoch's, subbed a little bit, and then we got married and we moved to Savory, back to Snake River, and Luke worked on that ranch for 7 years. In the middle there, Creasley was born, our daughter, and then I had just started taking actually early elementary ed classes to become an elementary teacher, because in Bags, there's not a lot of jobs for women, and so that's something that we
And it's
always
probably
have
hard
need
to
for.
get teachers there too.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I had actually originally went to school for, was elementary ed. And so I was taking those classes, and then we moved to Craig, and when Luke got the ranch job here, and I had stopped taking classes because I needed a full-time job, plus I had Creasley, and so I went to work for Human Services, and I worked there for 3 years, and we had Stratton in between, and we just had a ton of struggles trying to find childcare. When we first moved here, we had a really great lady. She watched the kids from her home, and then, you know, family stuff changed for her, and so since she had left and she had moved to Gillette, Stratton has had 3 different sitters, and
Wow.
it's a huge disruption in their development when they have constant changes. And
Right.
at some points, I wouldn't know if I was even going to be able to go to work, if I'd be at vacation days, because, you know, childcare was so unreliable. And a lot of friends of mine were having the same struggles. Co-workers at Human Services, we were losing people because they would have babies, and then they didn't have anybody to watch them.
Wow.
So that's what, after our third sitter moved, she moved to Nevada. I was just,
That was it.
I said, I've just had it. This is
Yeah.
enough. And I just said, and we had talked about it in the past, actually, when we had first moved to Craig. Why doesn't Craig have a childcare center?
childcare.
Because in Baggs, a very small town, we have a preschool and daycare center.
Wow,
so-
really? In
yeah,
Baggs? That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a really nice facility. So I just wondered, why does Craig not have
Right,
this?
because it's needed.
But at that time, when we had first moved here, that wasn't even something that I even would have known how to get into. But at this point, it was about May. It was right at the end of May, right around Stratton's second birthday, when she had left, and I had just had enough. I thought, if somebody is not going to do this, I
gonna
guess
do
it's
it.
going to be me. And
Right.
so I spent several days researching what it would take to do it, and I had about 24 hours to enroll in 5 college classes to get my director certification. So I enrolled in those college classes, and I took accelerated courses over the summer. Don't even remember what summer was like.
Right, 'cause you were busy.
Yeah, super busy. So I was still working and at Human Services, taking those classes, and then trying to get the business just up and going. So we got the lease and then started construction.
I got
We're
a
still
sneak
doing
peek
it.
tour the other day, and it is amazing.
Oh, nice.
it's
That's
so cool.
Well, you guys got to see it.
Yes,
when
the
it was
before.
the tortilla factory,
Right.
and
right.
had the restaurant
and
equipment.
What's
still
the
in it.
address?
354 Barkley.
354 Barclay.
So right behind City of Craig.
Right behind the city building. Yeah, we did cruise through there when it was just,
Yep.
yeah, the tortilla factory just moved out. That's
Pink
right.
and green walls.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait till you see
Can-
it. It's awesome.
Oh, cool. I can't wait to see it. Will you be having like an open house or like a community?
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. I'm hoping for state licensing comes on the 12th. And then after we kind of get over that little hurdle, we'd like to have the open house. So probably looking at that second week or third week of November, which we're in November, for open
I know.
house.
The fall's been flying.
Don't even know where
Gone. It's gone.
coming and going, yeah.
And how many kids can you have and what ages?
40, or the building should be licensed for 40. So we have an infant room, a toddler room, and a pre-K room. And the infant room will be able to hold 10, the toddler room 12, and the pre-K room 18. So you'll have to, because of state rules, you have to have a certain amount of teachers per
Sure.
kids, and so each room will have to have at least 2 staff at full capacity. So we take kids 6 weeks to 6 years, unless there is a sibling already enrolled, then an
can
older
make an
child.
exception.
Yep, an older child could come in.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
And how many do you have so far signed up?
about 30.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's pretty
so-
awesome. So that says right there
amazing.
how much the need
Yep.
was, you know.
Yeah,
You weren't the only one feeling that way, and your coworkers, there were other people out in
Yeah.
Craig, you know. that's what we're seeing as these different things are coming in that people normally before maybe wouldn't have been receptive to. Everybody is jumping on the bandwagon saying this is the best thing that could happen, so
Yep.
it's really changing the dynamic of Craig, I think.
Yeah, and I think for Craig to grow and for us to get new families coming in, we need to have amenities that new families want
That's right.
to move here for. And if a nurse wants to move here or a teacher wants to move here and they have kids, what are we going to do with them?
Right.
Well, then
Yeah.
we're going to knock Craig off our list because they don't have
Childcare.
any childcare.
Yeah.
And then also working at Human Services, I really noticed that it's kind of a hindrance in keeping people out of poverty if they don't have a place to take their kids to try and find jobs or
Right.
even use the state assistance for childcare, because you have to have a center or a home provider that will take state money, the CCAP money.
I see.
So they can't utilize that service and try and get on their feet and get jobs if there's nowhere for them to take their kids.
kids.
So if
Right.
they've got a couple of kids and they're trying to, go out into the workforce, what do they do with their kids?
Right.
So
Well,
Yeah.
and you're even going to have it where if you have room, if someone has a meeting,
yeah,
they can drop them off for
yeah,
2
if they wanna
hours,
go to the
pick
gym,
them up. Or,
yeah, go to lunch, those
Oh,
types
wow.
of things. Yeah. So we really would like to accommodate drop-ins as much as possible.
Yeah, that's perfect for like the stay-at-home mom that just wants a little bit of a break to
Yeah.
go catch up with her friends or whatever. Or
Right.
Yep.
go to the grocery store. with-
Right?
Yeah.
You guys remember those days much better than me, but
Oh my goodness. I think
Just walk around
the
every
horror.
aisle when you don't have the kids. Like you're just like, I'm gonna go down every aisle, just take my time.
well, and about eating everything in your fridge and,
Oh my
and
gosh,
cupboards before you have to take the plunge to take your kids to the grocery store with you.
Exactly.
oh my gosh, that's funny. I remember when Parker was little and I'd gone back to work part-time. I was working in Steamboat, and so we made the decision rather than have him here, I'd just put him in a childcare in Steamboat and then, drive back and forth. And then once I got the job over here working for Dave Fleming, then I was lucky enough to find Teresa Stoffel, who just was a mom doing daycare out of her house. And he was there until, gosh, I think him and Wesley Chapman and Justin Willems were like the Three Musketeers, and they certainly probably went longer there than they really needed to, but they were buddies and they loved hanging out there and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that was great. But if I wouldn't have had that, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah, I think, and that's hard. And one of the problems, if it's not a business for someone, there's a lot of ladies in Craig that have done a great job for years out of their home, but they can only take 9 kids. After that,
What do you do?
what do you do?
Well, and my gosh, 9 kids in a house, you'd have to have, in my opinion, you'd have to have a big house to accommodate 9 kids.
Right.
So not very many people are probably going to be able to take 9 kids just for the space.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah, so it gets hard for new families to come in and for, new parents that are just having a baby. What are we
Right.
going to do? We're going to have a baby. I've had several people tell me, well, we feel like maybe we could have a second baby now.
Oh, nice.
Because
so cool.
childcare is such a stress. It is a
Yeah.
huge stress on working parents to who's going to be watching them and what they're going to be doing, and are they
Right.
in a safe space, or
Right. Are
Exactly.
you just going to park them in front of the TV?
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I don't think people even realize, or I didn't even realize, but one of the state licensing rules is that in a childcare setting that a child is only supposed to watch television for 30 minutes a week.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
How do parents get dressed for it? I'm like, Paw Patrol it is.
In a childcare
Okay.
setting. So they expect that the child is probably watching around 2 hours of television at home a day. And so that's why they would like for them to watch the least amount of possible in a childcare setting.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But yes, I was super shocked when I was like,
Yeah, wow.
yeah.
Well, I know when Parker was over in Steamboat, of course, this was years ago because he's 25. But I walked in one day to pick him up, and the little kids, he was like 2.5. They were taking apart VCRs. And I'm like, well, that's right up his alley. He loves stuff like that. And him and another little guy were working on it. The director said, "Oh yeah, we always encourage them to, think outside the box." And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, how cool is that at like 3 years
Yeah.
old?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
taking apart a VCR,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's really, it is crazy what you learn going through this process of what, I know that I didn't do with my kids that I wish I could go back and
right,
Yeah.
and change some things
Yeah.
that I didn't know then
right,
as a young mother, the things that my kids needed probably a little bit more of and a little less of.
right,
Yeah.
right.
We'd like to give a big shout out to E&L Signs for being our sponsor of this podcast. E&L Signs serves Western Colorado and Eastern Utah for all your screen printing and vehicle lettering needs. With over 30 years experience, Ed and Lori will get it done for you. So remember, E&L Signs.
How cool is it? Because kind of take us through the building. You've got to design how you wanted your rooms. Like,
So before, and you guys saw it, it was just the main area was 40 by 60, just completely open. And so to have a large center, each age group has to be separated. They can't even walk through each other's classrooms unless it's a special circumstance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we couldn't, there had to be a hallway to where each age group could go to their own classrooms. And the toddlers actually in a large center, have to have their very own bathroom. So I had to make it work in this 40 by 60 building where I had 3 different classrooms, and I needed the toddler bathroom to try and be as closest to the existing plumbing so that we didn't have to replumb
yeah.
the whole building. So I kind of just had to set it up to where that bathroom could be closest to the existing plumbing, and we have our kitchen on the other side. And so basically we just have, in that 40 by 60 building, we have 3 different classrooms and then a hallway in the very front. It's kind of,
yeah, just to get to every
yeah,
room.
I'm trying to give you a
Yeah.
visual. But we have a lobby, come through the lobby, and you go through the doors, and each parent can go to take their kids to each individual classroom.
Wow.
And then those doors lead outside to where they can go to the playground. The playground has to be separated. Toddlers can't use the pre-K equipment because there are different height requirements. So we actually
So
have
they
a
can't
divider.
even use the equipment
Yeah.
for the playground.
Yeah, so the toddlers and infants have their section of the playground, and the pre-K kids have a section of their playground.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't have thought about anything like that.
No,
I would have
there's
figured
a
they could
lot
just
of
be in a big
hidden-
open room. and-
Right. That's what we thought too in June.
So luckily you had somebody that could help you design it, or if you had Luke working.
Well, I have to say that Luke is the star of the show on all this. Nobody
Nice.
probably knows. They think that I'm probably doing all this, but really Luke is doing all of it. I mean, he's putting in more hours than anybody. He works cows all day, and then last night was painting walls until 3:00 in the morning, and then gets up to do more cowboy work. So, I mean, really, he deserves the most credit because he's been so supportive, and he's been there every minute that he can to help me out, and he's just amazing.
So it's just been the two of you working on it.
No, my brother-in-law Jordan, he actually did quite a bit of the framing. He did most of the framing, but since we've got the major pieces of construction done, the framing, and the drywall hung, Luke and I have done the rest, and did all the fencing, and then we've had Marty Berman do the electric,
Electrical.
and Kayla Brown do the plumbing.
It's
and
so cool too to have see the community come together and all work together for the final.
Oh yeah, and just like that, they know that state licensing is coming, so they're down there. Caleb's down there right now trying to help finish up, and they've just been so great about jumping in where they
I
need
am
to.
not comfortable. My toe has me sidetracked. Okay,
Anyway, so
sorry.
but yes, we do. It's been really great having everybody
Come together.
come together. Yeah,
That's cool.
to help out.
Marty's great. Caleb's
Yeah.
great. They're our
Yes.
favorites.
Yes.
We love those guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I got my referrals. I mean, right
Good
there.
job. Good,
Good
job.
job, King
Yeah.
Homes and Land.
Right on.
It's so cool. I know everyone has that, but it's so cool to see your friends dreams and their success. Like, I'm so proud of you.
Well, you've been such a
so
support.
cool.
Don't make me
I'm
cry.
gonna cry, and I'm not a crier, but it's just so
Yeah.
cool, and it's just
It
to
is
talk
really
on the
rewarding.
phone. And like the
Yeah.
other day when I walked through it, I was like, so badass. Like,
Yeah.
you deserve a pat on the back. Like,
Oh, well,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for taking on a project like this,
It's
for
huge.
childcare for Moffat County, and just the drive and the ambition that you have, and to make it successful. You're not even open yet, and you're almost at full capacity. I mean, that's awesome.
yeah,
That is
that's
very,
well. Thank you.
very rewarding
yeah.
for you. You know?
It has been quite the journey,
Yeah.
but it all every day when you're there, thinking, why did I leave my comfy little government job to
Right.
do this and be
Right.
self-employed?
what
But
advice do you give people starting a new business? Like, where did you start?
well, I just did a lot of research as far as just trying to figure out what it was going to take for us to open this. But I would say try to utilize as many resources as possible. So when I got our small business loan through the SBA, they suggest getting, they give you lots of referrals on who you can all talk to, and then contacting the state to see what all I was going to need and to get licensing. I think the hardest part has been to save money. We've tried to do a lot of it on our own. And so if we would have hired a contractor, we probably could have been done a little bit faster.
Yeah, but that's a pretty big expense, though,
It is a huge expense. And, we wanted to try and be able to make this business work. And if we had so many outgoing expenses up front and that sucked all of our loan away, then we wouldn't be able to open the center, right? If we
Right.
had such a big loan payment to repay that it wouldn't work. Yeah.
Right.
And we wanted to be able to, childcare is so expensive, we didn't need to raise the rates to accommodate a large loan payment.
Right.
So,
So you're
really
very
cool.
affordable. So are you able to talk about what are your rates?
yeah, so our rate sheet kind of looks like a treasure map, I feel like, because it
I thought
has
it was
so much
easy.
really good.
Yeah, I thought it was easy.
It's just, I researched a lot of what other centers in Colorado do and across the country, because I really wanted to try and get people to be able to use that drop-in and flexible schedules. So one thing that I had personally was I worked a 4-10 schedule at the county, but most childcare you have to pay for a full week. If you want that slot, you have to pay for the full week. So even if I had Stratton on Fridays, I still had to pay for it, even though
Wow.
I was watching him. So I really wanted people to be able to have that flexibility to come 3 days a week or 2 days a week or even 1 day a week. And so that's kind of how I based the prices. So 5 days a week for a infant is $40 a day, and then it goes up. If they come 4 days a week, then it's $41 a day. If they come 3 days a week, it's $42 a day, and it tapers down. And I had to do that because even though I want to be flexible in schedules, I still have to pay staff full time.
Sure.
So I have to try and give and take a little,
Right.
balance it out a little bit.
Right.
And so
But
then,
a dollar or two increment is not a huge jump
No,
for
it's not.
like $10, $20,
right, exactly.
It's doable.
And then for toddlers and up, it starts at $35 a day for 5 days a week, and then goes up again. So 36, 37, 38, 39, and then a drop in rate. And then, so you can pay hourly
Gotcha.
also.
Gotcha. And how many staff do you have?
So at max capacity, I have to have 6 plus myself. So I'm interviewing today,
Right on.
and we'll be interviewing for a couple days. Probably.
And so you're just a director in the office, or are you able to do
Yep. So
stuff?
I can be in the classroom also, and so that's how I am going to start is doing director work, but being in the classroom to start out. So I just have to schedule myself 40% of my time in the week I have to be able to do admin work,
Gotcha.
director work, and then
And that's
60%.
regulated by the state, or?
Yeah. So you have to be if you can't do director work for at least 40% of the week, then you would have to hire another staff
Gotcha.
to do more teaching to give you
Gotcha.
that direct work. Yeah, so that is state mandated. And so each classroom has to have a certified early childhood teacher. So in the infant room, it has to be a certified infant teacher, and then a certified pre-K teacher, certified toddler teacher. But that's changed a little bit lately. They currently right now have a waiver so that if you have a teacher that doesn't have all of their credentials yet, we can do this waiver and they can work towards that, but still work as the teacher.
Oh,
that's
that's
really
very
cool.
Yeah,
helpful.
it's really
Yeah.
because there's such a shortage
Right.
of early childhood teachers
That's
right now.
really cool.
And that is because you don't have to have as big of an education to be an early childhood teacher,
Sure.
but you still have to have trainings and these classes, but the pay is a lot less than what an elementary ed teacher would get. So the
Right.
salaries. So the state and the feds are really working on that to try and change that for early childhood careers.
To make it more accommodating for
Yes,
somebody
exactly.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah, and so one of the things like that we are doing, since you don't get paid as much as you would as a teacher, I will cover the costs of taking classes, because you can take all your classes through CNCC. So whatever the county.
right
doesn't-
here locally.
Yeah, right here.
Perfect.
Yeah,
That's
the
great.
whole early childhood program. You can go all the way up through your associate's degree online. So you can
Wow.
do through CNCC. You can do early childhood teacher, director, assistant director, associate's degree, all in early childhood, right from your.
That's really
That
cool.
is great.
It's really great. Yeah, it is. And another thing that I had a little bit of struggle with was that you have to have practicum hours. And if you're taking that early childhood degree, where do you go take your practicum
Yeah.
hours?
right.
Basically, at the preschool would be the preschools would be the only spot. Well, I took my classes during the summer.
Oh, yeah.
So they did allow us to use the Boys and Girls Club.
Gotcha.
But if I chose to, I ended up changing that class just because I had a hard time trying to figure out how I was going to make that one work.
Right, right.
But they were going to allow me to use the Boys and Girls Club. But anyway, those students trying to figure out how to get their practicum hours in if they're taking summer classes before. So now I can have them come in, intern, and do their practicum hours at the center.
That's
So-
huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's huge. Good deal. What else are we needing to cover
Website?
with? Oh, yeah, website.
Website's up and going.
And what is it?
YampaValleyKids.com, and you can go on there. Parents can go on there and apply, but then you can also go in and just look at our parent handbooks on there. The forms are on there. Rates are on there. So basically, the process is that if you're wanting childcare, is you would apply and fill out a little bit of information, and then we receive that through our SmartCare software, which is it actually does all of our scheduling, billing, employee time cards. It all backs up to QuickBooks for our accounting. I'll get back to that in just a second. But so they can go on and apply, and that talks to our SmartCare software, and then we get that, and then they can enroll through SmartCare. And so that's where they would put in their family history, their immunizations, all of that. And so once I get that enrollment, then I can approve or deny enrollment based on if we have any available slots.
Sure.
And so what's great about the SmartCare software is it actually has an app, so Casey can download the app and see what her bill is. She can pay her bill online. She can also see if maybe she has an open house on Friday and we've got an open slot. She can see that we have an open slot for that
perfect.
classroom.
Take it.
And then accept it and take it and book it right there.
That's
Yeah.
great. That is
Yeah.
really helpful.
And then also get pictures, updates, what's going on at the center. But the teachers each will have a tablet in the classroom, so where they can take pictures and send it to the parents and give them updates. And also the teachers in the infant and toddler room it'll show when they change diapers, feed bottles, have lunch, those snacks, all those types of things.
All controlled from a tablet.
Yep.
And then the parent can check at any time during the day to see what's going on.
Yep.
Wow, that's a great peace of mind.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
That is really neat. I was just thinking of something I was going to ask when you were talking about that. Oh, can the parents come and like tour the facility ahead of time and see how they feel?
Yeah, so once we get open, that's what we would encourage is to come and meet me and meet the teachers, come do a tour. We'd like to schedule that ahead of time.
Sure, not just a drop in.
Yeah, because nap time, we really try to not have as many disruptions. But yeah,
Can I
would
come at nap time?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
take a
does
nap?
everybody
Yes.
take a nap?
Yeah. Can I come take a nap?
I have a couple extra mats.
Okay, perfect.
A crib, you know,
Yeah.
get a little snuggly.
Yeah.
Matt's good for me. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I would encourage anybody to come and take a look before that's the hard thing right now is we've opened enrollment up and people don't even,
Right.
it could look like Alcatraz in there. You know?
Yeah, but people know you and they know that
Yep.
it's going to be
Exactly.
an upstanding deal.
I hope
That's
so.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. Anything that we need to cover that we've maybe left out?
I guess the only other thing is just we're hoping to be open around December 2nd. But state licensing, like we talked about, is coming on the 12th. And that takes at least 2 weeks to get approval. So once they do the inspection, you know, I kind of thought that it was just like,
Let's go.
you know, they come do the inspection.
They
Here
sign
you
off,
go.
and you open.
No, not even.
Oh.
Did not know that. So they actually, the inspector has to take it back to her supervisor to get approval. And because they have a backlog, it can take another 2 weeks. Plus, they usually want you to wait until you actually have the license in your hands. But she did state that we could, once it's approved, they would allow us to go ahead and start with just the letter and not the actual
Yeah,
license.
since we don't have one here,
Yeah.
I would think they
That's what I
could
was gonna
put you to
say.
the top of the list.
I would
Hey,
hope
state
so.
inspector, if you're watching,
Yes.
can you push it through?
Say, of course
Come
they're
on.
watching. You know,
Just push
Polis
it. Let's
follows
roll.
us.
Let's roll.
Right. I bet.
Let's roll.
Follows because he needs to be aware of who his enemies are. No, just kidding. Can I say that? I don't know.
I'd say, well,
Yeah.
it's your podcast.
Yeah. But you never know who the spies are.
You're right.
You know, who are the Decepticons? Like this lion is a Decepticon.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So what is the one thing, we always ask this of each of our guests, what is the one thing you do every day that's your habit that sets your day for success? Before you get out of bed or once you get up, who knows, but it's your habit every day that you go, gosh, if I don't do this, my day's going to be shit.
You know, I just have to have that first cup of coffee.
Right on.
Got to be Cold Stone Creamer, otherwise.
Ooh, Cold Stone Creamer. We got to try that
I
one.
mean,
It's good.
Oh,
that
okay.
is my deal. That is how I wake up every morning to get going.
And Luke, of course, brings you coffee in bed, says, here, honey.
Yeah.
We got to get a little jab in about Luke there.
Reverse that a little bit. Usually Luke likes to wake up with a little back rub and a cup of coffee. That's how he likes to start his day.
That's good. So that'd be his success.
And I feel like he would admit that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, he's a good guy. He can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he for sure can.
So you got to have your coffee and then you're good. If you don't.
Yep,
a
and then
train
I'm
wreck.
good.
Yeah.
I think other than that, you know, I just try to roll with the punches and
Yeah.
I do admire that for you.
Yeah, just
Yep.
just kind of go. Well, in the kind of lifestyle that we have, and you know, the industry Luke works in, you just never know what's going to come up that day.
Sure.
So trying to play by the book and have a schedule like my dear sister
yeah.
just does not work.
It's not. So for some people it is. It's
Yeah.
totally fine. But a lot of people, it's not. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I get two things done. I get usually my meditation and my little yoga done.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's free
See,
for
I
all.
tried to be a planner. I think it came from when I was doing massage because everything 2:00 was my next client, and
Yeah.
then 3:00 I did this. So I try to plan. Like I'll call Sam and be like, "Hey, what are you doing in 2 weeks? You and Luke want to have dinner?" And she's like, "I don't know." Call me
concert in February, sure, I do definitely know what I'm got going on in February. I would love to.
I have it like wrote in,
Yeah.
circled, booked. It's
yeah,
just like
she is definitely a planner.
No,
I
that's
am,
great though. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
funny.
I have a hard time knowing what the next day may
Yep.
bring and what's
Yeah.
gonna interrupt me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
For sure. But another thing I do really like that I haven't had time for in the past about 2-3 months is I do enjoy going to CrossFit. That's something that it really just, if after a stressful day, you just don't think about anything because you're
Yeah, 'cause
basically
you're
getting
so-
your rear whipped.
That's
So,
right. I
but it
agree. When
helps
I
a
was
lot.
going,
Yeah.
you don't have time to think. It's like an
No.
hour of your brain being quiet.
And it kind of just gives you that, oh,
reset.
It does. It is like a reset. So that is something that once I am not painting till 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
would really like to go back
You'll
to again.
go
so.
back. And do you go to the early morning class or?
Nope, Luke, he would go to the morning class and I would go to the 5 o'clock class.
Oh, nice. Good.
So neither one of us are getting that in at all.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's a hard time
Yeah,
of
you
year.
got other stuff going on.
A little bit, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I do miss it. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks
Cool.
for coming.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you guys
and we're
for
super
having me.
excited. We're ready for opening days. I'm sure
right.
all the parents
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
You got 30 parents out there going, okay, come on.
I thought you said mid-month. No. Everybody actually has been really, really supportive and great. Every time I've given them an update of a change, they've been so supportive. I haven't had one complaint yet about things changing. Everyone is just so supportive and so happy that this is coming, I think.
That's,
so
yeah,
It's awesome.
definitely.
We have a
Yeah,
good
it's awesome.
community.
we
We
do.
do.
We really do. Craig
we're very
is a
fortunate.
really, really great place if you can see it.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the thing. People have to be open-minded and see. And change is always good.
Yes.
It really is.
And not read Craig Community Chat.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Stay off that. Yeah.
It's my biggest stress
Yeah.
of opening a business. Did we
Right.
talk about that? What's your biggest stress? Craig Community Chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't just
My
don't-
name popping up is my biggest fear. I have nightmares about it.
Yeah.
Just take your Facebook thing down or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
follow it or yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It is.
Because I think a lot of times those people are looking for a problem instead.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them that jump on there. I notice and are like, let's talk about positive, and then
Yeah,
they start
let's do
talking about
that.
positive stuff, and
And
then you
then-
get a couple negative ones
yeah.
in there going, oh no, and it's like, okay, don't even get on the page if you can't be
let's
positive.
just
You know,
open
Exactly.
Yeah.
And give people a chance.
that's right.
Before you go and bash them on Facebook, give them a chance to make things right. Or
That's
if
right.
you
Exactly.
had
Pick
bad
up the
service
phone.
or yeah.
Pick up the phone, call them.
Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
simple.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. Cool. All right. Well,
Awesome.
we'll watch for all exciting things coming with
Yes.
Yampa Valley Kids.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Dun-dun.
We'd like to give a big shout out to E&L Signs for being our sponsor of this podcast. E&L Signs serves Western Colorado and Eastern Utah for all your screen printing and vehicle lettering needs. With over 30 years experience, Ed and Lauren will get it done for you. So remember, E&L Signs.
If you like what you hear, please take time to review us on Apple Podcasts and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Also, if you'd like to be on the podcast, let us know, or if you have someone you would like us to feature, let us know that as well.